Son Goku and his friends fought tirelessly and surpassed their limits during the Grand Tournament of Power, which was a tournament where the most powerful mortals from the 12 universes were brought together to fight a battle where the members of a certain universe, when eliminated, the universe of them would also be eliminated from existence. During the tournament, Goku and his friends faced several dangerous situations. They were forced to become more powerful to be able to face warriors from other universes. Not only did the members of the 7th universe overcome their limits, but also the warriors from other universes, all to that they would not be eliminated by Zeno, and to be able to bring glory to their respective universes. And not only that, but the winner could make a wish for the Super Dragon Balls. Goku and his friends fought and evolved several times, surprising even the divine beings who were watching that battle between the universes. Goku managed to achieve the power of Ultra Instinct during the Tournament of Power, and at the end of the fight Goku controlled his complete form of Ultra Instinct for a certain time, and thanks to that Goku managed to face a mortal who was stronger than a god of destruction. His name was Jiren, one of the warriors of the 11th universe and the most powerful. In the Tournament of Power, if Goku hadn't succeeded the power of Ultra Instinct, Jiren would probably have been the winner of the Tournament of Power. But luckily Jiren ended up becoming weak after the battle against Goku using Ultra Instinct and using their last strength Goku. Vegeta and Android 17 ended up defeating Jiren, and Android 17 ended up being the winner of the Tournament of Power and wished for the erased universes to come back to life, and that's exactly what happened. Guys, before continuing this epic story, leave your like, and of course, if you want to help the channel even more, leave your super thanks and help the channel financially, and of course subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any news. Some time passed after the Tournament of Power, and with that a new enemy appeared called Moro, a powerful sorcerer who ended up making Goku develop his mastery over Ultra Instinct, being able to use that power whenever he wanted, and thanks to that, Goku was able to defeat Moro, who at that moment was very powerful. Moro wanted to devour the entire planet Earth, but Goku didn't allow it, and using his power he created an energy avatar that he used to finish Moro, winning the battle and saving planet Earth again. Sometime after Moro's defeat, Goku and Vegeta ended up getting involved in a new fight with powerful beings, where both Saiyans had to face an enemy called Granola, who wanted the defeat and destruction of the Saiyans, who ended up destroying their people, and also the Frieza's destruction. Goku was one of those who faced Granola, but ended up being defeated by him, even though Goku used the power of Ultra Instinct. Granola only did not eliminate Goku because Vegeta appeared at that location and revealed his new transformation called Ultra Ego, a power he obtained when training with Beerus and obtained the power of destruction from the gods of destruction. Vegeta using that power faced Granola, and unlike Goku, Vegeta managed to overcome Granola, who managed to evolve his power further and defeat Vegeta, who joined Goku so that both could defeat Granola. After an intense fight, the two Saiyans managed to defeat Granola. After Granola's defeat, Goku and Vegeta had to face another enemy called Gas, who defeated them both, but Granola, who finally got rid of his hatred against the Saiyans, ended up fighting together with Goku and Vegeta, which led to Gas's defeat at the hands of the three warriors. However, after Gas's defeat, everyone thought that everything was over, but Frieza appeared at that location, which left everyone surprised. Frieza, upon arriving at the location, eliminated Gas without mercy and demonstrated that he had a new transformation that Frieza ended up calling Black Frieza, and using that power, he ended up defeating everyone who was there with a simple attack. Even though Goku, Vegeta, and Granola were in their most powerful forms, they were defeated very easily. But Frieza didn't want to eliminate the three warriors, as his objective was to humiliate them, something that Frieza had already done, and with that he left the place, leaving Goku, Vegeta, and Granola very injured and completely humiliated by the Emperor. In the 7th universe, several hours had passed since the confrontation between Goku, Vegeta, and Granola against Frieza, where the three warriors ended up being defeated by Frieza, who demonstrated his new transformation called Black Frieza. Currently, it was possible to see that the three warriors were in the Capsule Corporation recovering. The three warriors had several bandages on their bodies. The most serious injuries were being taken care of by a recovery capsule that Bulma had developed to be used by the Z Warriors if they could not having the seeds of the gods, as was the current situation of Goku, Vegeta, and Granola. Beerus and Whis, who received a warning from Bulma, came to see how the three warriors were doing and to find out more about what had happened in the battle. Bulma told the two beings what Vegeta had told her, because before Vegeta entered the recovery capsule, the Saiyan Prince ended up telling the main events of the battle against Frieza and about his new transformation that placed him at a level above the power level of Goku and Vegeta, who were extremely powerful and were at the same power level of divine beings like Beerus. Beerus said, "So after all the combat with Moro came another enemy called Granola who was seeking revenge and wanted to eliminate Goku and Vegeta because they were Saiyans, and especially Vegeta because he was a former servant of Frieza, but his anger was focused at Frieza, since he was the one who ordered the Saiyans to do that to Granola's race." Beerus commented while analyzing Bulma's words, "After all, it was a surprise for him to hear such things." We said, apparently Frieza managed to go to another dimension to train and with that achieve a new transformation that was able to make him so powerful to the point of easily defeating three warriors who had powerful transformations except Granola, who apparently didn't have one transformation, and yes, a raw power similar to Jiren. So I must say that Frieza is now on another level of strength, and he is probably the most powerful mortal in the 7th universe. We said thoughtfully as he looked at his staff and saw some moments of Goku, Vegeta, and Granola's battle against Black Frieza, and he couldn't even call it a battle, since the three were defeated in just a few moments. Beerus said, apparently Frieza is once again a threat, and an even more dangerous threat than before. Frieza proved that he has a very impressive rate of evolution. In a short time after returning to life, he achieved a new transformation which he called Golden Frieza, which already placed him at a divine level similar to Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue from Goku and Vegeta, and now he has this new transformation called Black Frieza, who is able to go head to head with Goku using the power of complete Ultra Instinct, and Vegeta using the power of Ultra Ego, and also has this Granola who was able to face Goku and Vegeta together at the same time. So I must admit that Frieza worm is very powerful at the moment, said the god of destruction while looking at the sky, and then started massaging his eyes because that subject was a very boring thing to talk about. Bulma said, well, at least none of those three ended up losing their lives at the hands of Frieza, who is not someone bad but an Avenger, and I can't judge that. After all, I don't know what I would do if something like that happened to me. But I know that if it were Vegeta, he would do the same thing. In reality, Vegeta would probably destroy everything that stood in his way to get his revenge, and in reality, I think Vegeta would be very ruthless in this revenge. Bulma said while looking at Beerus, and knew that if anything happened to her or her children, Bulma knew that Vegeta would seek revenge for them if he knew that she and her children could not return to life again. We said, I must admit that a vengeful Vegeta would be very interesting, but at the same time he would be very unpredictable about what his next moves would be, and this could be very dangerous for everyone. After all, Vegeta has a great willpower, and feeding this with a desire for revenge would be a very bad thing for whoever was his target, said the angel, imagining what it would be like if Vegeta were someone who was vengeful and was after revenge. This would be very dangerous for all beings in the 7th universe and possibly in other universes as well. Beerus said, good, but now what are they going to do? Because Frieza didn't eliminate Goku, Vegeta, and Granola out of pure pity and so he could humiliate them, but at any moment Frieza will go after them and won't be as lenient as before and will probably eliminate the three warriors. So I hope that they already have an idea of what they are going to do in relation to Frieza and the threat he is to the three of them, said the god of destruction, curious about what Goku, Vegeta, and Granola were going to do in relation to Frieza and his threat to them and planet Earth. Bulma said, honestly, I have no idea what they're going to do about Frieza and his new transformation, but I know that Goku and Vegeta will find a way around it. After all, they always find a way to overcome their enemies to protect the Terra and all of us. I just hope that they can find a way to defeat Frieza. After all, the more time passes, the more time Frieza has to create a plan or obtain a new power, technique, or transformation. Bulma said while looking at the god of destruction and thinking about how her husband and his childhood friend would deal with his biggest enemy to date, which in this case was Frieza. We thought Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego are the greatest powers that those two Saiyans have, and to get a bigger and better one would be extremely complicated, but the two still have a chance instead of increasing their powers with new transformations. It's better to get new techniques that, combined with the power of Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego, make them even stronger. In fact, I'm even curious to know what they're going to do to defeat Frieza. Thought Whis, excited to see how Goku and Vegeta would overcome Black Frieza's power. In the 7th universe, currently in the 7th universe, more precisely in the Capsule Corporation, it was possible to see that in the area outside the corporation there was a huge buffet full of delicious food, and behind it were Goku, Vegeta and Granola, who were eating all the food quickly, as the three of them had recently woken up and were eating to regain their strength, as they were still physically worn out because of everything they had to face. And even though Granola almost managed to take the lives of Goku and Vegeta himself invited him to this banquet. While the three hungry warriors were eating that feast ferociously like real animals, but away from the three were Bulma, Beerus, and Whis at a table eating some things too. They were waiting for the three warriors to finish their meal so they could ask some questions to the Goku, Vegeta, and Granola about what they were going to do in relation to Frieza and the new transformation he had. After all, the three warriors had to do something as quickly as possible in relation to Frieza. Bulma said, "It seems that powerful warriors are really hungry. This Granola is as strong as Goku and Vegeta, and at the same time he is hungry just like Goku and Vegeta," said the woman as she saw the three warriors devouring everything that was in front of them as if it were the last time they were eating, and this made Bulma smile. We said, in reality, Granola's race and Mr. Goku and Vegeta's race are not as different as you think, Bulma. They are both warrior races, but Granola's race is much less violent than Goku's, since the Saiyans originally they were giant, unconscious monkeys who ended up taking on a more controlled and humanoid form, but they could still assume their bestial forms when looking at a moon. Yet the two races are very different from each other in many aspects, but when it comes to being a warrior, Goku and Granola are very similar in some aspects, said the angel while looking at Bulma and then at the trio of warriors finishing eating everything that was on their table. Beerus said, "Regardless of whether their race is related or not, I hope that those three create a plan and find a way to defeat Frieza soon. Because according to Whis information, that worm has already started to act and is now conquering several galaxies, and maybe he's doing it to carry out a mass attack on planet Earth, which will lead to all of you becoming extinct if Frieza wishes that," said the god of destruction while looking at Bulma and then eating another piece of pudding. Bulma said, "But why would Frieza do something like that? You know, he is strong enough to defeat Goku, Vegeta, and Granola at the same time very easily, so why would Frieza go to the trouble of doing all this to conquer several planets and then come here and destroy planet Earth when he could do this alone? Why do you think he would go to all this trouble just to destroy or enslave human beings?" the woman asked, very curious to know why Frieza would do what Beerus had said. Beerus said, "You are very intelligent, Bulma, but I will say my point of view. In my opinion, that piece of shit Frieza wants to do all this because he wants to humiliate Goku and Vegeta little by little. Both Saiyans in the past have humiliated Frieza or made him feel humiliated in various ways. So he wants to create a gigantic army to conquer planet Earth little by little and then destroy everything that Vegeta and Goku love, destroying and killing their family, friends, and anyone else important to them. In my opinion, this is Frieza's goal, and when Goku and Vegeta are mentally broken, Frieza will eliminate them both, or he will capture and torture them for a long time, and in the worst case Frieza could use them as guinea pigs in some experiment. After all, if Frieza had the ability to evolve from Saiyans, he would be even more dangerous than which already is," spoke the god of destruction as he finished eating the rest of the pudding he had on his plate. Bulma said, "Now that you said it, it really makes sense why Frieza wants to do all this, and I can even understand him. After all, Frieza always hated the Saiyans and saw them as an inferior race and at the same time feared them because of the legendary Super Saiyan and the Super Saiyan God. So that's why he destroyed the planet, because he was afraid of the Saiyans, and also because you gave him that order, Beerus. But I think that in the end Frieza would do it regardless of whether you gave that order or not order. He would eliminate the Saiyans, so Frieza must have a great hatred for Goku and Vegeta because they are Saiyans and defeated him," Bulma said as she looked at the two Saiyans who were approaching her along with Granola, who seemed to be better after having eaten so much. Vegeta said, "Apparently you're talking about us, and you're probably talking about Frieza, right?" Because if so, I would like to know if you have already thought of a plan to defeat Frieza and that new transformation of his, said the Saiyan Prince while looking at his wife and sitting next to her along with Goku, who sat on the other side of Bulma, and Granola, who stood. Granola spoke, a plan to defeat Frieza and that new form he called Black Frieza? There is no need to have a plan in this situation. After all, Frieza with that new transformation is very powerful and none of us at the moment can face him. So Beerus, who is the god of destruction, is the one who will end Frieza using his Hakai to put a definitive end to Frieza, right? Granola asked while looking at everyone present and then looked at Beerus, who started laughing at Granola's words. Goku said, "What is it, Mr. Beerus? Are you really going to end Frieza now that he has that power? After all, we don't have the power to defeat him, and the only one who could defeat Frieza would be his Hakai to eliminate existence completely. Are you really going to do that? Because according to Vegeta, you are the only one capable of doing this, and even though I don't like to admit it, Vegeta is right, and even if we used fusion to become Vegeto or Gogeta, we still wouldn't be able to defeat Frieza," said the Saiyan before sighing, irritated at the fact that he was not able to face Frieza in his current state. Beerus spoke, "You three are terribly mistaken about all this. You really can't face Frieza in your current state, and probably only I am capable of defeating Frieza while he is transformed into his Black Frieza form, but I'm not going to get involved in that battle, so I won't face anyone, and much less Frieza. Even though he's a piece of shit that I agree should be eliminated, I'm not going to do anything because it's not my job to solve a problem that you created. After all, after the battle against Broly, you should have taken advantage of the fact that you were fused and having eliminated Frieza once and for all, but you let him go, so that's your problem," said the god of destruction before drinking some juice. Beerus was extremely relaxed as he wasn't going to get into that situation created by Goku and Vegeta, as they both knew that Frieza would do that at some point. Granola said, "Damn, I don't know what you two will do, but I will go to an ancient planet that once belonged to my people and I will learn the ancient techniques they had so I can become more powerful. I don't know when Frieza will attack this planet, but don't count on me as I will be busy protecting my planet, but I wish you both good luck, but I know of a way to make you two become more powerful," Granola said while leaving the two Saiyans confused and curious about what he was talking about. Granola said, "There is a martial art focused on destructive energy on a planet that I went to in the past. I got all the information about that martial art, but I ended up not learning it because it doesn't suit me. But it suits you, Vegeta, and your Ultra Ego. Now for you, Goku, there is a technique similar to Ultra Instinct, but I don't have any information about it because this technique was erased from history many years ago. But if you find the two missing Dragon Balls to summon the dragon, Taranbo, and you can ask Taranbo to learn this technique, and don't worry because the recharge time of these two Dragon Balls is very quick and they should be ready to be used again." Granola spoke while creating a hologram and transferring the information on the martial arts of destruction to Bulma and Vegeta and showing what the Dragon Balls that he used for Goku looked like, and after doing this Granola left the place. In the 7th universe, currently in the 7th universe, more precisely in the Capsule Corporation, it was possible to see Vegeta sitting in a chair with a tablet in his hands reading the information about the martial arts of destruction that Granola had given him so that he could become more powerful and be able to face Frieza, and his new form called Black Frieza. While Vegeta was learning the new martial art, Goku was near Bulma, who was creating an alternative version of the Dragon Radar that Goku would use to search for the two Dragon Balls to summon the Dragon Taranbo, the same dragon that Granola had previously used to stay more powerful. While Bulma created the new version of the Dragon Radar, Chi-Chi, Goku's wife, already knowing everything that was happening, prepared some things for Goku to take on the trip, since he would probably have to spend some time away from Earth to develop his new one, technique or martial art. But Goku knew that this power would be necessary to face Frieza and his new transformation, and according to Granola, this technique could be used together with the power of Ultra Instinct, and this would be very useful for Goku. Away from everyone, it was possible to see Beerus and Whis, who were eating some things calmly without worrying about anything at that moment. But soon an idea crossed Whis' mind that this idea could be very dangerous for everyone, especially Beerus. Whis said, "Mr. Beerus, I think it would be smart for us to go after the Super Dragon Balls because of Frieza," said the angel to his god of destruction, who was surprised and confused by Whis' speech. Beerus said, You don't want me to go after the Super Dragon Balls just to use them to guarantee that Frieza will be defeated, right, Whis? Because if so, it would be a completely idiotic use of the power of the Super Dragon Balls, said the God of Destruction, hoping that his angel wasn't wanting him to use the power of the Super Dragon Balls as something futile in Beerus' eyes. We said, "No sir Beerus, I'm suggesting that you go after the Super Dragon Balls to ensure that Frieza doesn't get them, because if he can do that and knows how to speak the language of the gods, Frieza will be able to make a wish for the Super Shenron, and if I'm right, Frieza knows that you are the only one who, in the state you are in, could defeat him. Then Frieza would probably use Super Shenron's power to eliminate you or steal your powers, and if he does, no one will be able to defeat Frieza. Besides my brothers and sisters, my father and Zeno-sama," said the angel, warning Beerus, who, upon hearing that, ended up feeling a shiver down his spine, already knowing that Frieza would finish him off at the first opportunity, and this made Beerus stop eating and become very serious. Beerus said, "Now that you said it, it makes a lot of sense that Frieza would want to do something like that, and the worst thing is that I believe he would be capable of learning the language of the gods. After all, he already has the power of a deity, so learning the language of the gods it wouldn't be difficult for Frieza to achieve," said the God of Destruction before sighing heavily, because even though he didn't want to, Beerus would have to act to stop Frieza, or at least have a plan that could directly affect him. We said, "So should I get Bulma's Super Dragon Radar so we can go after the Super Dragon Balls?" asked the angel as he looked at his God of Destruction. Beerus said, "Yes, and we're not just going after one of them to stop Frieza from trying to do anything. We're going to take advantage and get all 7 Super Dragon Balls, and we're going to leave them stored in another dimension, more precisely inside his staff. And when something happens in the future, we will be able to use it in the worst case scenario. So apparently, I will have to work a little even though it is against my will," Beerus said before sighing, because he really didn't want to do anything other than eat and watch Goku and Vegeta trying to solve the problem with Frieza, but whether he wanted to or not, Beerus would have to work a little. Whis, upon hearing Beerus' words, went to where Bulma was and explained everything to her, who agreed and gave the Super Dragon Radar to Whis. Then she finished the new Dragon Radar and gave it to Goku, who at that moment was ready to leave the 7th universe. Goku said, "It's a good thing this Dragon Radar is capable of scanning the entire universe at once, because otherwise it wouldn't take long for me to find these 2 new Dragon Balls," we said while looking at the Dragon's new radar, which was very similar to the first one that Bulma had created in the past. Bulma said, "I used the same technology that I used to create the Super Dragon Radar, but this new radar is focused on an energy not as large as that of the Super Dragon Balls, so it will be easier for you to find it. And using teleportation you will be able to find the Dragon Balls quickly. Use this here to help you locate the Dragon Balls in an easier way," Bulma said as she picked up and handed him a scouter, similar to the one Vegeta had in the past when he was an evil Saiyan. Goku said, "Okay, so I wish you and Beerus good luck, and I hope you manage to get all the Super Dragon Balls before Frieza, otherwise we will be in real danger," said the Saiyan while looking at Bulma and then at Whis, who already had the Super Dragon Radar in his hands. We said, "I say the same, Mr. Goku. I hope you can find these 2 Dragon Balls to summon Taranbo and fulfill your desire to possess a technique capable of making you more powerful," we said while looking at the Saiyan, who just nodded positively at the angel. Goku then used his teleportation and managed to reach one of the planets where one of the Dragon Balls was located, and as soon as he got there, Goku put on the scouter, and after a few minutes he managed to find the sphere that was a few meters below the earth. Goku fired some spheres of ki on the ground, making the sphere visible. Then Goku removed the sphere from the earth. Goku said, "This Dragon Ball is very similar to the Dragon Balls on planet Earth. Could this other wishing dragon be a relative of Shenron? I don't know, but from the information I have in this scouter, this other dragon is called Trombo or Taranbo. I don't know exactly which one is right, but I know that it will help me get stronger and get a technique to defeat Frieza and that new transformation from him. Well, now it's time to go after the other sphere. If this sphere is the 2-star sphere and there are only 2 Dragon Balls of that type, then the other is the 1-star sphere." Goku said while looking at the two-star Dragon Ball in his hand, which was much smaller than the Dragon Balls on planet Earth. Goku flew out again and advanced towards the other planet where the other Dragon Ball was, and halfway along the way he ended up bumping into some ships that belonged to Frieza's army. Goku saw that they were invading one of the planets, and Goku, upon seeing this, ended using his power to destroy the ships and defeat some soldiers and leave the rest injured, and in doing so Goku flew back across the universe until he reached the planet where the other Dragon Ball was, and it was under a lake, which was it's very simple for Goku to get the sphere. Goku said, "Now I have the two Dragon Balls and I can go back to planet Earth, but I think I'll stay here for a while. This planet appears to be ideal, it will be a good place to train and probably no one will try to disturb me, so it will be right here where I will train and where I will also summon this Dragon of Desires." Goku spoke and went close to a cave large enough for him to use one of the capsules to make a house appear. This capsule was made by Bulma. Then Goku left the cave and placed the spheres together on the ground. Goku looked at the spheres and then at his scouter where some words began to appear, and with it he began to recite the chant to summon the dragon, and soon both spheres glowed and then an explosion of light happened, making a large dragon appear. His name was Trombo. When the dragon appeared, Goku was surprised to see that it was very different from the other wish dragons that Goku knew. Trombo said, "You, the being who summoned me, can only make one wish, so think carefully and tell me what your wish is." The wishing dragon spoke in a completely different language. Goku's scouter was translating for him. Goku spoke, "I wish you to teach me a technique that is capable of combining with Ultra Instinct so that I can defeat Black Frieza." Goku spoke. The scouter translated his words into the language of the wishing dragon, who, upon hearing it, shook his head subtly, showing that he had understood. Trombo spoke, "Your wish is in order," said the dragon, and then his eyes shone and suddenly his body turned to light and the Dragon Balls spread again. Goku wasn't understanding anything at that moment because he hadn't learned any technique, but before he could say anything his eyes started to burn, which made Goku fall to the ground screaming in pain. After a few seconds the pain disappeared, and when Goku opened his eyes again he was seeing nothing, as he had been completely blinded and his other senses had been greatly weakened, but the technique he sought was now in his mind. On an unknown planet in Universe 7, weeks had passed since the day Goku left planet Earth and went in search of the Dragon Balls that would be used to summon Trombo, one of the wishing dragon. After getting the Dragon Balls and summoning Trombo, Goku ended up completely losing his vision and partially his other senses. At first he didn't understand why he had to lose his senses, especially his vision, after making his wish to Trombo. But Goku, after meditating, he realized that losing his vision and most of his other senses was part of the plan to master the new technique he asked Dragon Trombo for. Guys, before continuing this epic story, leave your like, and of course, if you want to help the channel even more, leave your super thanks and help the channel financially, and of course subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any news. Goku, as the days went by, began to learn how to use that technique, but he often ended up falling to the ground or hitting his face somewhere, and the fact that he always had his eyes open trying to see something hindered his concentration. After thinking for a while, Goku took some bands and put them over his eyes, and thanks to this Goku was able to maintain his concentration for longer and without external interference, and as his clothes ended up being torn during his training, Goku exchanged them for a model similar to his old one. He did this using one of the capsules made by Bulma. The outfit he was wearing now was a white and black outfit, and as Goku wasn't seeing it, for him it was the same outfit he always wore since the model was the same. Goku, as the days went by, learned to use his new technique, and as on that planet there were several wild creatures, Goku ended up facing these creatures. Goku often left the fight injured since he was not used to fighting with that technique, but as time passed, he managed to face those creatures, and the more time passed, the easier it became for him to face those beings. When Goku learned to use that technique, he began to use it along with his transformation into a Super Saiyan, and in a few weeks Goku had already completely mastered that technique combined with the power of his Saiyan transformations. But he had not been able to use it with Ultra Instinct because the difference between Super Saiyan Blue and Ultra Instinct was huge, and Goku knew he didn't have time to combine his new technique with Ultra Instinct, so he ended up focusing on training his new technique with Super Saiyan Blue. Goku, After mastering his technique combined with Super Saiyan Blue, he faced all the creatures that were on that planet and defeated them with ease thanks to his technique, because even though he couldn't see, Goku had the ability to see everything just by feeling the energy of the beings around him. He could even know what his next moves were and also read his opponent's minds. This would be of great use to Goku when he was going to face Frieza again, something he was already waiting for. As Goku had already trained enough, he ended up staying inside the house he created in that cave and started meditating. This helped him a lot with his techniques. The Saiyan stayed like that for a long time because he wanted to be mentally ready for his fight against the Black Frieza. In the 7th universe, currently in the 7th universe, more precisely in the Capsule Corporation, it was possible to see that in the corporation there were several warriors from the planet. They were training because they knew that Frieza's army could invade at any moment. But most of the warriors who were resting saw Vegeta and Beerus facing each other. Vegeta was using that fight to test his new martial art, and even though Vegeta was in his base form, he was managing to concentrate a large amount of energy in his fists, a very destructive energy similar to the power of destruction of the gods of destruction, but this energy had the ability to corrode his opponent's ki, leaving them unable to use their ki, which would greatly weaken his future opponents. Beerus said, "Apparently this new martial art of yours is really very powerful, Vegeta. Now that I'm seeing it with my own eyes, I remember facing someone who used this same martial art in the past, and he was a really interesting mortal, but it's a shame because he was arrogant enough to try to defeat me. But if you learn using this martial art together, with Ultra Ego at its full power, I'm sure you'll be very powerful. You still can't use both at the same time, can you?" asked the God of Destruction while stopping that training combat. Vegeta said, "No, I am not able to use Ultra Ego with this martial art. The two are still unable to unite for now, but with some more training time I know that I will be able to unite the two things into one. But I can use this martial art with my Super Saiyan Blue, and that's enough for now," Vegeta said while looking at Beerus, who looked up at the sky, as well as all the other warriors who were in the Capsule Corporation. "We said, I hope everyone is ready, as Frieza and his army have just arrived," he said the angel when he saw several ships around the planet, and especially a gigantic ship that was above the Capsule Corporation. This was Frieza's spaceship, and the rest were members of his army. Vegeta said, "It was like you said, Beerus. Frieza's army has dominated all the planets and galaxies near planet Earth, which means that the entire planet Earth is surrounded, and Frieza's army will attack every corner of the Earth," said the Prince of Science while feeling the ki of billions of beings around planet Earth. Bulma said, "I was already preparing myself for this, but I was still hoping that it wouldn't happen, but unfortunately it happened. All warriors, separate and go to strategic points on planet Earth, and don't let Frieza's soldiers destroy planet Earth, and don't worry about your loved ones, because everyone is safe in places protected with high technology." Bulma said she was in a room similar to a control room along with her young daughter and Goku and Gohan's family. Upon hearing Bulma's orders, all the warriors separated and went to strategic points on planet Earth. The warriors went in pairs or trios along with some seeds of the gods. It didn't take long for Frieza to get out of his ship and go down to the Capsule Corporation and stare at Vegeta. Frieza said, "Apparently Goku isn't on the planet, so I'll have to start with you, Vegeta," said the Emperor with his usual arrogance. Frieza was already in his Black Frieza form. Vegeta said, "I won't fight you, Frieza. Even though I want to skin your face on the ground, I know that someone needs to eliminate your army quickly, and it will have to be me, so I will leave everything to you, Kakarot," said the Prince of Saiyans, and after finishing speaking Goku appeared in front of him already transformed into Super Saiyan Blue. Goku said, "You can leave Vegeta to me, I'll finish Frieza." Goku spoke and Vegeta just nodded before transforming into a Super Saiyan and then taking to the skies to meet Frieza's army. Frieza, upon seeing Goku's new look, thought about making fun of him, as Goku liked to do with Frieza, but before he could do that, he was forced to dodge a punch from Goku that suddenly appeared in front of Frieza, even though the blow, although it didn't hit Frieza. Goku's attack ended up generating a large shock wave that made the ground crack at their feet, and a small cut appeared on Frieza's face, which made the Emperor angry. Frieza then aimed a punch at Goku's face, who only used one hand to defend himself, causing Emperor Frieza's blow to be redirected. This surprised the Emperor, who saw that his blow had been predicted by Goku, who had his eyes bandaged. But the Frieza's surprise was surprised by a left hook followed by a kick to his abdomen that made him go backwards, but still with his feet on the ground, leaving a trail on the ground. Frieza, upon seeing that he was being humiliated by Goku, who was only using Super Saiyan Blue, the Emperor became very angry and advanced against Goku, starting a sequence of blows on him. But Goku dodged or redirected the blow with great mastery that to him seemed to be so natural and easy that it was irritating Frieza even more, who accelerated his blows more and more, and yet Goku easily defended them. Frieza, because of his anger, ended up attacking Goku awkwardly, and with that Goku managed to land some precise blows on some points on Frieza's body, but Goku wasn't using his full strength in those attacks. Something that Frieza interpreted as if Goku was saying no, it was necessary to fight against him using his full strength. Goku, noticing that the more Frieza got angry, the more gaps he left. To provoke Frieza, Goku started to dodge the Emperor's blows using dance moves, something that made Frieza get even angrier and leave a big gap, and with that Goku hit a punch to Frieza's rib that made him bend over spitting blood, and at that moment Goku saw the perfect chance to defeat Frieza. Everything around Goku slowed down, and for Goku several points on Frieza's body began to glow, and with that at an extreme speed Goku hit all those glowing points, and in a split second Frieza fell to his knees vomiting a lot of blood because of those attacks. Frieza ended up coming back in his base form. It was as if Goku had hit the internal muscles inside Frieza, preventing him from being able to use his ki. Frieza was trying to gather his energy to lessen the pain and increase the speed of his recovery, but he wasn't even succeeding. Controlled his ki, and thanks to blood loss Frieza ended up fainting at Goku's feet, who maintained a serene expression on his face. Goku said, "This new technique matches my fighting style perfectly, and even if I don't eliminate Frieza, he will no longer be able to use his ki, and as a result he cannot access his Golden Frieza or Black Frieza transformation. In addition of his natural physical attributes, Frieza has nothing left and is no longer a threat," Goku said while a smile appeared on his face. After all, he no longer had to worry about Frieza. Guys, this is how we end today's video. What did you think of this story? Did you like the new technique Goku learned? Leave a lot of like on the video and comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you another day, guys.